what's up, guys? So, as you guys know, the Shroomy tournament's going on, and we're just going to go ahead and have a field day with it and see how far we get. So far, I got at least a couple of the ranks through. Now, something that I thought would be worth mentioning is, I've been basically running a lot of these different clones. Part of the reason why we do this is so we can basically try and find one that'll finally click. So, like here, we got Shroom Combo, Boss Attack, not what I'm wanting. Because ultimately, what we're aiming to do here is that by basically taking one, now, like some of these have been bred like 11 times. It's like, okay, you breed them too many times and you're just going to start running a lot of dull copies. You're not going to get what you're after. But, I've been running quite a few different variations here, trying to basically find a situation where I can either get, something of higher quality. It can be kind of painful, It's like you're basically running however many different variations, hoping you'll get the right combination that will get you what you're after. One thing I'm trying to gain is Poisoned Arrow. And that's a real pain, it can be really tough. But, again, having to deal with a 12-hour timer is just kind of the way it is. That said, though, I'm still running this guy. And he's, very basic compared to, some that I already have now. And I've just been kind of indirectly basically making clones and trying to find a way where I can get one that will be of at least a little bit higher quality. Running different copies and builds and growths and just kind of playing around with it. And again, you never know what you're going to get in terms of avians. And it's just kind of the dice roll that you have to deal with. Now, of course, trying to get as much gold as I can, because I am almost now at the point where I will eventually unlock the eternal set of gear. And so at this point, I'm actually hoarding all the lamps that I can possibly get. Of course, just like anything, if you guys want my 2 cents, once you're at that last stage, then and only then do you actually start saving lamps. I don't think it's terribly wise to try and get there without using lamps. Because I think you're going to inevitably miss out on the leveling that you would have normally gotten. Like that, okay, that was just BS. We were way too close. We could have probably killed it, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and spam through the rest of these, because to be quite honest with you, there's not really anything in here that I'm not terribly worried about. I could probably tweak some other things, but we'll see what really comes of that. So here we could probably give this a challenge and see how we are doing. If we're close enough, great. If not, not a big deal. I will say that for those of you out there that are running Plume Monarch builds, you don't want to get into a habit of being complacent. Obviously, after a while you'll get complacent like I do. But here I'm so close, and just barely. And so we'll just go ahead and hit the reset and confirm, get the most that we can possibly get. And then I won't deal with the Cloud Ascension for now. But, of course, what you guys should probably know is the Crossover Showdown's coming up this weekend, of course. One thing that you should ultimately grab, if you're going to grab anything, is don't grab the Windborne Arrow. I made that mistake. I don't recommend anybody do that. I think I'm going to try and grab Crimson Moonfall. It's going to be my next pick. I have played with 100 Slashes and can recommend that for anybody that's running anything that's super heavy. It's not really all that great for Plume Monarchs, in my opinion. I think you're better off with Worldly Snare, I think, if you are going to grab a skill anyway. But I'm going to look at trying out Crimson Moonfall next to kind of get a feel for it. But Windborne Arrow is just not as good as I was hoping it would be. It's just not. 100 Slashes is okay. It gives you some basic attack damage resistance, but it doesn't give you crit resistance, which is really where a lot of, if anything, that's where you want a lot of your resistance in anything. And that's part of the reason why damage resistance, coming off of the new, for example, in Shroomy Sports, in case you haven't been keeping up, basically, if you can get the boat is one of the best mounts right now, I think, in terms of what you gain in damage resistance. It's not a bad mount. I mean, that is actually a really nice piece to have. Now, I don't really care for the Eternal Flame personally that much. I'd rather have Eye of the Raven. I really would. I mean, I think there are some things that I can do with Eye of the Raven that would be really neat and really cool to use. But again, we'll have to wait and see coming up with the next events that are all more than likely on the way, right? We'll just kind of have to wait and see what else comes down the pipeline, because eventually we will have a new class to play with, and the rumor has it is that we're looking at maybe, either September or around that time frame when we'll actually start to see some of that stuff, but nothing's confirmed by any means. But as you guys have probably all picked up, there is another version of the game that you can pick up that is pretty much almost a copy in a way, but it doesn't have everything the same either. So a lot of what we speculate to be in the game is not necessarily a true one-to-one copy either. It's just one of those things that unfortunately we're just going to have to live with and wait and see. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and challenge this. I'm surprised I didn't win that, actually. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm so close, but I died too quickly. Oh, dear. Well, okay, let's just go ahead and swap. We'll reset this guy, because there's not really a whole lot to say about that one anymore. See, global combo, skill damage, and enhanced attack is pretty good, but I almost want what I can gain from like some of these other ones where I get regen. I want shroom combo more than anything, but I just don't think I'm going to ever be able to get global combo and shroom combo in the same. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I might be wrong, but I've also been playing with the idea of just like trying to get crit damage. I just haven't gotten any crit damage skills yet. We got some skill damage, which, I mean, and obviously anything skill damage is not necessarily a bad thing, right? There are a couple of perks here and there that kind of catch my attention here. But yeah, see, I'm just not loving what I've got for options here. Now, I don't know, just like anything, you just got to play around with your avians and just kind of see what works, what doesn't work. Like, I did get a honeypot warrior pretty recently, which is kind of a cool accident. I do have, like, for example, the 3-round shooter that, honestly, there's almost nothing wrong with this because I've got shroom combo and I've got poisoned arrow, and I'd love to get poison arrow. That'd be kind of cool because that'll increase our damage output quite a bit as far as combo goes. But again, just like anything, trying to find a happy medium here with the most amount of passive effects that we can get that are advanced tier. That's ultimately kind of the big picture idea that I'm trying to get around here. I just haven't. What I'd like to do is, so we've got our super cred combo, and I want to see if I can get either super cred combo with crowd, the actual combo itself, or if we can run, even different builds. I'm still working on that part of it. It's just going to take some time. I think given where this one was super attack, shroom combo, and talent skill, I think we can probably swap that out for like indirect aid, get some resistance, basic attack, self-resistance, and avian. So far, these are all kind of meh. This is like the only one that we have that's actually 3 advanced. So we don't really have very many of these out there where we've got multiples. And those are, we'll eventually tweak it until we can finally get what we're after. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and save what I've got. And we'll get to it eventually. Go ahead and use our athlete medals here. Oh, man. We got a ways until we actually... Now, of course, you might be thinking, well, how come aren't you spending? And it's like the main reasoning behind this is because I know there will be stuff coming up. And I'm just thinking that what I'm going to do is save and wait for an opportunity that I can finally get an artifact. I just haven't seen an artifact yet. And don't get me wrong, Eye of the Raven is certainly tempting, but my biggest issue with it is it's an equipped active skill at random every 20 seconds. So, I mean, some people are like, oh, well, that means that you could proc Clone Strike more than once. No, that's not how that works. Like, I'm fairly personally positive the Magic Carpet is where that's coming from. But that's not necessarily the Eye of the Raven. But, you know, you're welcome to quote me on this if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly positive the Eye of the Raven is not going to do that. However, on the same token, if, for example, you look at the actual Magic Carpet skill, right? It basically, what it does is, after casting a skill 6 times, restore the energy to 1 skill. So, conceivably, okay, by having 2 Eye of the Raven skills proc, you're basically adding to the number of skills that are being shot, and therefore you're proccing it more frequently. That I'll agree with, okay? But, like, you're not really doing what you think you're doing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure that's actually how that works, but I'm welcome to hear anybody's opinion on that. That said, let's go ahead and bring this up to 14. We'll get us some extra damage here. That might be enough. Now, I don't think I need any of these pinks either. Is that enough to get me over to 15? Awesome. Alright, fantastic. So, now that gives us a little bit more core attack. Now we should be able to hopefully challenge, and we may even be able to get past the part where we are stuck on the lamps here. That might just be enough. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Dang it, man. They're like really close. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and collect our stuff here real quick. There's some other things that we can tweak if we need to get a little more oomph out of our class here. There's some other things we can try. Alright, let's see here. Now, my parking stuff, I keep finding myself having to do these over and over. I practically sleep on these, and I'm really bad about it. Like, I am not picking the best possible ones either. You always want to go for the ones that give you the most, and so you're going to be seldom, you know, like, if anything, try to avoid paying a parking fee if you don't have to, but most of the time you're going to be trying to pay the parking fee for your guildmates, and you're going to be trying to rank. And that's really about all you can do. Now, in here, see, I need ore. I'm only 20,000 short. Damn it. Oh, I got enough, but I'm going to wait until an event. Let's go ahead and grab our pal draws here for the day. And let's see if that enhancement maybe gives us just that much more. Obviously, you know, if you haven't been paying attention, you know, now is a great time to spend too, because you can get Righteous Banana. And we only got a day and 10 hours, so make sure you grab it while you can. Gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else I could tweak. I mean, I just downgraded this avian, so I wonder if, you know, let's just go ahead and do this guy, and we will just go ahead and level him. And I know I said I wasn't going to, but I really want to get past that stage, and I'm pretty sure we can do it. So let's just go ahead and do this, deploy. That'll give us 100k, but that should look at us through the stage. Hopefully. If not, I might swap the Magic Carpet out. But, oh, god damn it, it's still not enough. Let's try swapping this out for this guy here. I'll try the Round Frog and see if it makes a difference. Because we might be able to stun him. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. And that's one thing about the frog I really like. Is it works great on bosses and stuff. It gives you a little bit of an attack boost too. So if you're having a trouble like getting across certain modes, you can use it to your advantage. So all the power to us. Okay, so we'll go ahead and grab our stuff here in the Blazing Cave here too. In fact, actually, let's just see how our damage looks now that we move that over. I wonder if that's going to push us over 99. Probably not. Yeah. Well, the Magic Carpet's good and all, but yeah, no, it's like it brings our damage down because we don't get the extra skill pop. That's the only like downside to it. I kind of like the Magic Carpet because of that RNG that you get, because you never know what skill it's going to proc, but sometimes that's like half the battle. So we'll just go back to our Magic Carpet here. But you know, again, it is what it is. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so one thing we wanted to do was we were going to go over and see if we could get past this stage here. See if we can give it a shot here. I don't know if we'll run the luck Getting it to proc again, I don't know. So like that one obviously didn't work out so well. I'll try it again here. It just depends on what, if any. So like there we got another blitz assault. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. It's just like depends on what skill gets fired off. Obviously in this case, I don't think it's enough. So I'll just keep trying it and see if we can get a different RNG. So like there we got another clone strike. So that's going to do a super duper deal of damage there. Like that's going to push it over the top, I think. Yeah. And it makes all the difference in the world, but literally, like, that second clone strike is enough to get us that 700 a pop now, so we'll just go ahead and waste the rest, because I doubt we're going to be able to get past the next stage. I mean, really about all I need to do for Ascension here is probably just go through the normal missions. But again, you know, the idea is relatively simple. Now, again, if you don't know the battle positions, basically you can put 1 and 3 to get extra skill regen, or you can do 1 and 4, or 2 and 4 to get a shield. So like this, if we both go shield, then they both get a shield and they'll live longer. And obviously, you know, if you're trying to get through the Ascension, get yourself extra rewards and what have you, then this is really kind of the way to do it, in my opinion. I mean, again, I don't know if there's really like a perfect team right now, especially in Shroomy Tournament. Like, I wish I had grabbed somebody that joined me, but I just wasn't paying enough attention to really do myself any good service on that front. So I'm kind of finding on my own on the tournament. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's just the idea here is that you want to ultimately strive to get the best possible loot you can. You know, it's the name of the game. I will say that, at least in the case of playing a Plume Monarch, you want a lot of crit damage and you want a lot of combo damage. And it can sometimes be a bit of a struggle, because I oftentimes juggle between having to increase the amount of HP I have or the amount of defense as well, because you can only go so far on that. If you can't kill them fast enough, you know, especially if they've got shields and what have you, then you're really kind of forced into a position where you really kind of have to strategize. And it's just, it is what it is. But in any case, yeah, so we're flying through this without really any trouble. We shouldn't really have too much struggle, and we've got a 43k and a 41k power. And, you know, he happens to have the Carnage, which I kind of wish I had grabbed the Carnage. I mean, in many ways, the Carnage is one of the better weapons for the artifacts. I really wish I had gotten it, because there's so much you can do with it. But now that I got the extra 2, let's go ahead and grab... probably in this instance, I would say probably want to grab that, as well as probably this. Because I know that Ascension Scrolls over time are going to be pretty darn helpful as far as increasing stats. Because I've watched the stat scale jump quite a bit having it. So it's not something I would recommend most people ignore. Like, after a while, once you've actually gotten all of your the dark crystals, that is, and you've actually gotten your class upgraded to the highest tier, then really all you need is Ascension Scrolls from that point forward to really do any massive amount of leveling, and that's really all there is to it at that point. But again, you know, if you can tell, I'm just flying through this. This is almost too easy. But that, wow, we just like got completely gassed. How did we die? What the hell? It doesn't even tell me how I died. I just die. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, so, you know, then of course that's pretty much it, and then I'm cooked. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that's really about all you can say or do at the moment. But hopefully that was somewhat helpful for you guys, I guess. I mean, the main gist here is that, you know, if you haven't already been doing the disc shooting, make sure you're doing that. But if anything, I'll see you guys to the next video.